Halito Amakana Chimatokma Chatasia. Alright, this is your boy Talaco coming to give some reflections on this story that is in the news right now in Indian country regarding Pharrell Williams and ELLE cover. The story is that there was some sort of upset, if you will, in Indian country regarding his choice of outfit on the cover of the magazine. Pharrell, who has reported himself that he is of Native American ancestry. I don't know that he has specified which tribe he's from, and he's also of Egyptian ancestry. Sported a traditional-looking Plains Indian headdress on the cover, and some people in Indian country are kind of upset about that, and I'm here to share my views on that. Alright, so let's take a look at that cover right now. If you look at him very closely, if we just look by way of the features, you can definitely tell, and I knew this when I first looked at Pharrell a long time ago, that the boy was definitely native. What I want to say about that is disclaimer that as Native people, we can definitely have a lot of different looks. But if I were to just go by some of the traditional looks, how we looked before we did a lot of mixing, I would say definitely he has that appearance. But again, I do readily acknowledge that we look a lot of different ways today, different complexions, different hair textures, all of that. Alright, so let's get into what he has on. They're upset about the headdress, and they're upset about just him portraying. So that's why I call this video, So Who Wants to Be an Indian? And we're going to talk about that a little bit at the end, but let's go through. I want you to look at the next native coming up, alright? And you can definitely see that Pharrell has that look. This is a Plains Indian right here. Come on, the next picture. Alright, so let's go ahead to the next picture. It's a straightforward picture of Pharrell looking straight ahead. Alright, get a very good look. You can definitely see this boy is native. I mean, come on, seriously. Let's go to the next picture. You can see a Cheyenne chief. Got on similar headdress. You know, not exactly, but very similar. Let's look at Quanah Parker. He was a mixed blood native, alright? He was Comanche and white, and you see him dressed in traditional Comanche wear, alright? And go to the next picture. You see Quanah Parker dressed in regular white man's clothes. You see here, historically, that we have the capacity and that we did display different clothing styles. Okay? That's not untraditional for us as Native people. Let's go to the next picture. A contemporary Native. He's showing you the split, and this is how we are today. We can dress traditional, and we can definitely dress contemporary, like any other American person. Okay? Let's go to the next picture. Let's look at Martha Redbone. Now, she's chosen to mix it all up. And if you notice, she has a feather or prayer fan in her hand, right? Feather fan. Martha's not doing a ceremony. She's not dancing. She does not have on regalia right there. And she's not getting ready to smudge. Okay, she's on the cover of her album, Skin Talk, that came out several years ago. Martha is pretty well celebrated throughout Indian country, have gotten all kind of awards and stuff like that. And she not only works in Indian country, making Indian music, she also makes contemporary music, secular music. Pharrell does the same thing, so what is the freaking problem? Alright? Who wants to be an Indian? That's what this commentary is called, alright? So take a look at that. I didn't see Indian country jumping all over this back. There may have been some initial talk or whatever, but the girl is selling records. She's out there doing her thing, and she doesn't just do native music. Let's go on to the next picture. Another native, okay? He's expressing his culture, his heritage. See, he's got on his war bonnet or whatever, all right? And he's, again, expressing his culture. He has pride in his culture. Let's go to the next picture. All right, this definitely stirred the pot for some people. These are some young people at a powwow out east, and they're doing some hip-hop dancing at the powwow. All right, you can kind of see some people whispering, looking around or whatever, and they're expressing themselves. And the thing about that, some of the young people in Indian country are losing interest in the culture. They're getting into all kind of things. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on, particularly on the res. And I don't have to even go into all of that, because if you grew up on the res, you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially out towards the plains area. You already know what that is. All right? So the thing is, sometimes we have to allow people to have their own unique expressions, even within the context of traditional culture, if you want to keep them. Okay? I'm gonna tell you more about that in a second. Let's go to this next picture. You'll see a young Shinnecock man out from New York, Long Island, all right, Southampton area, and you'll see he's just dressed regular. Got regular clothes, okay? Let's go further to the next picture. You see some other young native people. They've got on regalia, okay? So we have the capacity to go back and forth in our appearance. Now, what I want to do right here, I want to address the 4 points that Indian Country Today magazine brought up regarding Pharrell. This is what they had to say. They said not all Indians wear feather headdresses. That was one of the problems, okay? And that we know. And they talked about feathers being earned in the course of a lifetime. Well, Indian Country, in case you didn't know this, okay? And this is from a non-reservation Indian, but I do know this, and I do have relatives that were born on the res, okay, and still live there. We traded with tribes from all over. We used the Mississippi as a highway, and you have stuff that's down south of Mississippi that showed up way out east. You have stuff from the plains that made it down south. We traded all over the place, all right? So it wasn't just that natives in one particular country, part of the country or whatever, only did, one specific thing or only dressed in one specific way. That is not true. Think I'm lying? Take a look at the next picture. These are Penobscot Indians from Maine, all right? The year is 1925. Do you see that? Do you see this female in the middle with a Plains Indian war bonnet on? Do you really see that? I know you see it. Okay, so what about that? All right? Let me tell you something. While some of us who grew up on reses have that closed mentality about who can be an Indian, who can express, who can do this or whatever, our presence in the world is shrinking. And it's to the point now that we have been so blended in that people don't even talk about, I'm talking about in Maine culture, Native Americans much anymore. We've all been blended in, for the most part, with black or white, or especially Latino. It's to the point now, I've even had people ask me questions. Well, Where are the Native Americans today? If we don't express our culture, and if we don't allow and permit those of us who have the blood to express it, okay, maybe Pharrell is not a reservation native, but does he really have to be to express his culture? One of the things that you said in the article was him being part Native American doesn't cut it. Who are you to tell this man that? Who are you to say to any person of Native ancestry that that is not good enough for you to express your heritage? That is hypocritical and it's wrong. Alright? I, myself, being Chata and black, I have no problem. If I want to put on something native, if I want to put on something American, if I want to put on something that's more towards black culture, if I want to mix all that stuff up, guess what? I got a right to. If I want to do it and take a picture of it, I got a right to do that. And so does this man. It's even good that somebody that's a public figure has made a statement, I have Native American ancestry. Basically saying I'm Native American and I want to express that. And he does not have to be politically correct in his costume. I have showed you examples of people in the past and present that have mixed it up, put on different attire at different times. That is completely hypocritical. And then the other thing that you said, the fourth argument, he's not paying tribute to his culture. Wait a minute. That is just simply wrong. You cannot tell this man that he's not paying tribute to his culture because perhaps he's wearing something that his particular tribe didn't wear. That's the stuff we got to get off of. If we continue with that kind of mentality and those kind of statements and actions dividing us up in Indian country, we're going to continue to diminish ourselves and the sacred circle will never be mended. So this is my support for Pharrell. Wear your feathers, do what you got to do. He wasn't on there trying to be disrespectful toward anybody, and Pharrell, you do not owe an apology. I'm glad that you stepped out and did that. People need to know that we're still here. You are blessed with those beautiful traditional features, but not all of us look that way anymore. We have different blends of features, but it's not about that. It's about having the blood and honoring it. And if that is his way of honoring his culture, then he is more wrong than anyone else who has done it in whatever kind of way. We need to continue to promote and talk about Native Americans. If we don't, we're going to find that we're going to disappear and we'll just be a memory like so many other cultures from the past. Think about it. Chipin Sala Chiki. Aho. If you look at him very closely, if we just look by way of the features, you can definitely tell, and I knew this when I first looked at Pharrell a long time ago, that the boy was definitely native. What I want to say about that is disclaimer that as Native people, we can definitely have a lot of different looks. But if I were to just go by some of the traditional looks, how we looked before we did a lot of mixing, I would say definitely he has that appearance. But again, I do readily acknowledge that regarding his choice of outfit on the cover of the magazine, Pharrell, who has reported himself that he is of Native American ancestry, I don't know that he is specify which tribe he's from, and he's also of Egyptian ancestry. Sported a traditional-looking Plains Indian headdress on the cover, and some people in Indian country are kind of upset about that, and I'm here to share my views on that. Alright, so let's take a look at that cover right now. Halito Amakana Chimatokma Chatasia. Alright, this is your boy Tilako coming to give some reflections on this story that is in the news right now in Indian country regarding Pharrell Williams and ELLE cover. The story is that there was some sort of upset, if you will, in Indian country. We look a lot of different ways today, different complexions, different hair textures, all of that. All right, so let's get into what he has on. They're upset about the headdress, and they're upset about just him portraying. So that's why I call this video, So Who Wants to Be an Indian? And we're going to talk about that a little bit at the end, but let's go through. I want you to look at the next native coming up, all right? And you can definitely see that Pharrell has that look. Listen up.